Hi, it's Greg Burdine, pastor of Faith Baptist Church in Adrian, Michigan, with a Bible verse for today. And it's getting ready to kind of ramp up into Christmas. We've already got the Christmas lights up and the Christmas trees up at our house. I don't know what you've got going on at your house. Judy came in. Judy woke up in the middle of the night last night, and she thought we left the light on, but it was the candles. We have some candles. It's kind of cool. The candles are light sensitive, and so they come on at night and they go off during the day. So it's kind of pretty. But Christmas is coming up, and I got a Bible verse for you to remind us about Christmas and about Jesus, and looking up some verses that have to do with that. Please pray for the Corrington family. Some of you know Kink and his family. Kink's brother passed away last week, and his funeral is today. I'll be helping in that funeral today, so pray for their family. Well, the Bible verse that I have for today is a prophecy of Jesus. In fact, it is one of the most specific prophecies of his birth. And it's just crazy. Hundreds of years before Jesus was born, Micah chapter 5 and verse 2 gives a prophecy of the exact place that Jesus would be born. And I have some statistics that are just amazing. And this is what the prophet Micah said, inspired by God. But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah. There could be more one Bethlehem, but he specifies which one it is. Bethlehem Ephratah. Though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall come forth unto me that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. So there's a prophecy that this ruler of Israel would be born in Bethlehem. Not just any ruler, the ruler in Israel whose beginning was everlasting. Jesus is the eternal God, the eternal Son of God, and he was born in Bethlehem. This was prophesied hundreds of years before. When I thought about this verse, I thought about this. I'm from a small town, about bigger than Adrian, about 75,000, small town in Ohio called Middletown. And if you would have said 100 years ago, 200 years ago, could you imagine somebody even saying 300 or 400 years ago that somebody would be born in Middletown who would become the vice president of the United States? I just said, no, anywhere else but Middletown. New York, somewhere in California, but no, not Middletown. But actually, this past election, they elected Donald Trump, and he chose as his vice president a guy from Middletown. And so it's kind of cool that J.D. Vance is from my hometown. But that's not as crazy as the prophecy of Bethlehem. Bethlehem had about a population of about 300, maybe 1,000 at the most. It was a small town, a little town. In fact, the square area, they say, was about 60 acres, which would be about 3 times our church property. If you've been at our church property, you know that we don't, we got a lot of land, especially those of you guys that mow, we got a lot of land, but it's not that big for a town. I wouldn't even call it a city. Could you imagine prophesying that, one day there's going to be the ruler of the world is going to be born on Faith Baptist Church property? And no, that's crazy. But the prophecy was that Jesus would be born in Bethlehem. And indeed, he was. Jesus is the long-awaited King of Kings, the Prince who was to come. And he has already come, and we can receive him as our Savior. And he promised, just like he left, he's coming back. And so every prophecy will come true. Some of them haven't come true yet, but every prophecy will come true. Why? Because God's the one that made it. And so God's promises are true. You can count on them. So I hope it encourages you today as you think about the coming of Christmas. Jesus has already come, and we already know it, but we get to celebrate his birth. God bless you. Have a